All right. So, hey everyone, welcome to the On the Come Up interview series. I'm Malika, membership coordinator on the Rhythm and Soul team in LA. And today we have our August Spotlight producer, Doh Boy. Hey, Doh Boy, how are you
How's it
today?
going? Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Amazing. Well, yeah, it's great to have you here to talk to us today. So, let's just get right into it.
Mhm.
So, how did you know you wanted to be a producer? Was there a pivotal moment that made you realize that was the path for you?
I mean, music has always been in my life. Started in as a drummer in church, at the age of 7, very early. Picked up the keys at 5th grade. Got my first turntables in fifth, saving up in 6th grade. I started as the DJ first, but always just dabbled in music. But it didn't come to me to like, okay, no, I need to make music. Was probably like I want to say like around 8th grade when I got some equipment to learn how to put my ideas down. And it was kind of like I learned the hard way first. It wasn't so much computer integration with my learning process. It was more so manual. But yeah, around that time, I think around 15, I was like, no, I kind of realized what I was doing in my head for all these years. I kind of hit a point where like, well, I was making music in my head, like as a young kid, you don't really know that you're composing. You're just like, oh, I like these sounds. Oh, I like, what if I did this? What if I did that? Or, you're doing something on top of somebody else's thing. These are composing things. So once that hit me, that I'm like, oh no, I'm making music. Probably like, yeah, 15, 14, 15.
Okay, cool. And so you're originally from Chicago, but you moved to Atlanta. How has that contrast of music styles influenced you?
Man, it gave me the best of both worlds, to be honest. Because Chicago, we big on house. We're big on R&B, and still to this day, we're still you can still get your dance on. You know what I'm saying? As
Yeah, of
opposed to a
course.
lot of other places, they're not really dancing in the club like that. But Chicago, we still get down.
Hmm.
We still do what we got to do. So it made me versatile. And I came up in Chicago. I'm kind of probably showing my age, but I came up in the crunk era of Atlanta. We call it real Atlanta. Lil Jon era, where R&B was kind of fading away in those times. But kind of we're big R&B heads in Chicago. No matter what's happening anywhere else in the world, like we stay core to our values of music, instrumentation, and stuff like that. So when it came, I do know how to bounce around and do what I need to do. But when it came down to my core values of where it came from, the church music, the R&B music, the house music, and just being versatile, Chicago played a big part in that. As
Yeah.
opposed Atlanta's kind of their own way. I love Atlanta. I have them both on me. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like,
wow.
yeah, I'm a product of both. I've had equal amount of time, what I'm saying, in both to say,
Hmm.
what, Chicago made me, what I'm saying, with my heart, you will be there, but Atlanta's home now, and I
Right.
love Atlanta. And I love the culture of Atlanta. What I'm saying? I came here in the 90s on the big boom. I'm
Hmm.
37 now, you know what I'm saying? So it made me versatile to see both sides, to be had two big impacts from, major cities.
Yeah, absolutely. And so on your page, you talk about various pieces of equipment you use. What is your favorite equipment to use if you have one?
I would probably have to say right now, oh, this is tough. Probably my Rolling Phantom.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about that big thing. Like it's a one-stop shop, man. If I had to pick something and be like, okay, you can only have one thing to make everything,
Hmm. That's the
I can
one.
do it. Like everything else is kind of like very key, but if you only gave me that one, I'll be lacking somewhere, right?
Hmm.
But Rolling Phantom is like, yeah, you can do everything there, and you don't even need the computer. It's the computer itself. So it's a one-stop shop for everything. So the Rolling Phantom is my number one piece of equipment that has come out yet right now.
Okay. And do you have a favorite digital audio workstation you like to use?
Um, are you saying like the program that we use?
Yeah, like
Oh, like
FL
the dog.
Studio,
Yeah. Oh
Logic.
yeah. Look. I'm FL till I die.
Yeah.
Okay. I started with them, and since the FL3. We're
Hmm.
on 24 now. So
Yeah.
um, I owe them everything. I remember back in the day going to studios and being kind of like people were not liking that I was using that. But I
Really.
learned all their way. I learned Reason. I learned Pro Tools. I learned, all the suites. I chose what I like. I'm an IT person as well, IT professional. I love how it's accepting to everything. There's no limits. if you build a computer that push your limits, FL can take you there, as opposed to back in the day. They do now. A lot of these other suites are compatible with a lot of things now, but before they were not. There were so many rules and so many things. Oh, you can only have this amount of tracks. Oh, you can only use these VSTs. But FL was like, whatever you want, do it. I ran all of my Triton in my MPC, all of my analog gear. I didn't use the sounds that were in FL ever. Even in high school, I didn't. I think that's where the bad name came from when we had, I'm not saying names on this, but we had music coming out of Atlanta that was just like, okay, it just made it seem like that program was about that, but we had people making beats in it that didn't need to make beats. Let's just put it that way. So it got a bad name early, but now I go into these big studios. I could bump into these people over the years that used to give me a hard time about it. They're using it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
So
mean?
would
I'm
you
like,
say
oh, y'all
FL is
came
the
to the dark
most,
side.
it's the most
Yeah.
versatile?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know. Okay, and so there's so many different elements that go into a beat, right? So can you describe your creative process? Is there like a specific order you like to do things, or does it kind of just come all together?
In different ways. So
Okay.
like we find that, music does just come to certain people. And sometimes I have something in my head. That's like the best thing, right? That's the best
Mm-hmm.
one when you're like, okay, I got something in my head. I'm gonna lay it
Yeah.
down. And it's hard for some people to kind of paint a picture, but if you do this, right? I got it. And then you do this for a living to where like you might not have it today. You know what I'm saying? You have to find your workflow to get in the mood of having something or a workflow to get it started. So I am a chords first type of person. I have to lay down the structure of the song melody wise first. And once I get, and I'm a drummer, it's my favorite thing to do is the drums. But once I have that chord structure down and the direction I'm going with the song melody wise, I know what type of drums I need. And then once I put those drums, I pretty much, if it's something that's gonna, I feel like it's gonna hit, then everything falls into place. Now, if you're forcing stuff, like, if you're sitting in a loop for a minute or you're sitting, that means it's probably not gonna click. You're probably gonna force it.
Right, it's not organic.
Yeah, it's not really organic, but you'll know
Mm-hmm.
it once you lay down. Like, oh man, I already know what I'm gonna do next.
Yeah.
I know what I'm gonna do next. You know what I'm saying? So chords first for me. And I could do it the other way, but if we're going off like I need to nail something, knock it out the park,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get down and get the chords first, and then I lay those drums, and it's a wrap from there. I mean, you add your little vocal samples, there's some strings, maybe a lead, who knows, depending on what the genre of things. But
Mm-hmm. How did you create your tagline, Rock Me Baby?
fun fact, well, I just came across the soundbite to be honest.
Oh,
But
okay.
it kind of it fit. It made sense
Mm-hmm.
because I'm really big on classic rock. If I could define my sound, or like where I come from, it would definitely be like a R&B soul with a little classic rock and a little bit of hip hop and trap, just mixed all very soulful. But I have to do something different. I got to find a way. If I'm making an R&B song, how can I rock this out a little bit? If it's up tempo, if I'm making another R&B song, how can I make it a little punchy, a little different? I love classic rock to all the old people, man. I'm talking about Zeppelin, Def Leppard, Journey. I don't know a lot of newer people today because that's where it came from me, and it started with watching karate movies back in the day in the 90s and being a kid. That's who did all the soundtracks. So I'll be hearing stuff and I'll be like, "Dang, who is that?" You know what I'm saying? Like, who is that? But when I found I'm always about rocking out, and just when I found that, I felt like it was just perfect because it can mean so much. Like that beat's about to rock. Like I'm about to rock
Mm-hmm.
your face off with this kick. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So it just felt, and I like the voice. I like how it rolled into things. It was, it was pleasant on the ears. I hate tags that are just like too much. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It just rolls right in.
Yeah.
So that's how I found it. I just came across it like, wait, no, I'm saving this. This is mine. I'm keeping it.
It's kind of like your own genre.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
What project of yours brings you the most pride, if you have a favorite?
Sammy Indigo.
Okay. And were there any obstacles you faced during the completion of that project?
No, no, it was just the most organic piece of work. Me and Sam was we were just we came to conclusion like we're gonna do this ourselves. You know,
Mhm.
I put a studio set up at his house to go back and forth throughout the week. We needed engineers to engineer stuff while I'm away. I would come to him on the weekend. We'll write, we'll create from scratch, and then we'll have a couple of songs. And during the week, an engineer will come out and record him. I literally sent out. We sent out a blast to email me if you're an engineer, and I went through like 50. You know what I'm saying? Found Demetrius with this DB mixing, and he has a Grammy now. Okay, like he's crazy. Like he was just starting off then, but he was a part of our sound too. But we did everything ourselves. We did the music that we felt we wanted to make. It was not in at the time, but we did not care. We wanted to make substance. And in 2015, there was no substance out. If I even sent a beat with a piano in it, people are like, we would just want 808 and that's it. Just give us that. You know what I mean? So it was crazy. We went against the grain with that project. We stayed true to ourselves. If he was to come out with that project today, it would win because guess what? This sound is back now. Real instrumentation is back now. So we're even, I hope, and we have had talks about re-releasing that project. I hope we do because it is probably, it's the best work that I was able to do what I felt like we needed to do. A lot of artists have their vision. A lot of people have stuff that's, people that's over them that kind of put the constraints on a project, but we got to do what we wanted to do. And I felt like it was just probably the best project and most organic and fun thing to do with not only the artist, but my best friend.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love that. So back in 2019, you began working with R&B singer and songwriter Tank. How has that partnership blossomed into what it is today?
oh, that's big bro. I know
Yeah.
everybody say that. It's like the industry thing. Oh, that's my big bro. No, but like
Right.
for
But that's
real,
really
like
family.
no, for real. As a man, as a man of that puts their family first.
Hmm.
I come to him, for the certain advice that I needed when certain things was going through my life. He's like, man,
Hmm.
I've been there before. This is how I handled it, and then I went to the studio and wrote, "Oh, for Marion." That's what this. And if he does see this, he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I remember this conversation. I remember this," because it's good to have those mentors in the industry, especially the ones that are older than you and that know what you kind of go through as a man, and trying to balance,
Hmm.
a lot of different things. But we're still tight. We talk every once in a while. I can't see us not working again. He writes for so many people. He's gotten me work before. That's the type of person he is. If he
Yeah.
likes you, if he likes the talent, if you're a good person, if you're good energy, he'll definitely reach out. So
Hmm.
we're still tight. We're good.
Those are the best relationships when it's like bigger than just the music. Like it really
Oh,
is a
oh yeah.
connection. And you
And
can you
I
can even hear it too in the music.
absolutely. And
Hmm.
to be honest, I'll work with anyone, right? Anybody can get some production.
Right.
But the ones that I go out of my way for are men like me. We uplift women. We are family men. We put God first. These things are stuff like I can go down the list. Sammy, Vito, Tank, Eric Bellinger. There's something in common with all of us. And you can hear it. And these are the type of people that I will go hang out with. You know what I mean? It's not just a person that,
You're working with.
that I'm just working with. No,
Right.
no.
Well, is there any advice you would give to an aspiring producer?
Man, there's so much. Even
Mm-hmm.
though they have so many tools I didn't have, you know what I mean? In
Mm-hmm.
this era that they're in, it's kind of easier. Um, I will say, if there's one big thing it took me longest to learn, is don't stop making music that you like to make. Because you get so caught up in making what everybody else wants to hear right now. But guess what? If most of these artists that you're coming to, they already have it. You know what I'm saying? So most of my placements, some of my best songs are the artists going through my stuff, picking the ones I didn't think they were going to pick. It was actually the ones me in here doing what I love to do. I'm not saying don't, make those records that, those bops, right? The ones that like, okay, this is in, you got to have those. These are the type of records that you're making because I just love to make music. And it took me a minute to go back to that. You find yourself lost in the sauce, making it what everybody else is making. You have to get in here and make this stuff like I'm the same kid that was going in the Guitar Center as a kid and just playing on the stuff that I wish I had. You know what I mean? You have to get yourself back into that mind. Like, man, I'm here. I have all this equipment that I always wanted when I was a kid.
Right.
Let's go have fun. Let's go play. Let's go do what I love to do, and I will be doing it regardless if I didn't have somebody like Tank asking for something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that can be overwhelming, and you're in here and you give them something that they already heard already. No, keep doing what you're doing. Do what you'd like to do, because that's why they reach out to you, because you bring them something different. So
Mm-hmm.
always make music to make music because you love to make music, and don't everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
Everything else will be good.
It's like going back to your why, like the whole reason why you started it, like your
Yeah, we
passion
didn't
for
care
it.
about that stuff when we was when I was in my mom's room, blasting the whole house and rocking the whole house. I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was doing it because it's what I love to do anyway. So
Yeah, that's real. Well, lastly, what are the next steps for your craft and what can we be on the lookout for?
I think the next thing for me, besides, I'm always going to be, getting up, with these artists and making music is, that's swell, right? That's good. I like that. But I think it's going to be time for me to come out with some more instrumental pieces. I hate that I'm missing that bag. You know what I mean? Here we are, we're in this world where like you get paid off your instrumentals. Like what? Like I need to get there. Like why have I not been tapping into this world? I'm still gonna work with artists. I'm still gonna be doing this, but I hate that I'm missing out of the world. How many people put on beats just to just chill? How many
Hmm.
people like to put on beats because they're tired of hearing lyrics and they just want to cook, or they're in the car, or they
Right. Or just want to
meditate?
study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to have different genres of that. I
Hmm.
feel like I need to have a couple of different genres of, just my music, just personally. And that's a goal for me. I think that's a bucket list for me, to just have something that is out, that is purely just me.
Hmm.
And then also I do want to come out with an R&B project with all of my favorite people that I worked with. So that's all
Yeah.
these are my personal goals for fall and for next year. Next year is more of the R&B project. For the fall, I'm trying to release some instrumental projects that, people can just click on. One being called like The Commute.
Okay.
Yeah, put it in there and just go to
Put it
work.
on when you're in
You know what I'm
traffic.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And that R&B album sounds cold, I'm not gonna lie, with having all
That's
your favorite
coming too.
artists.
That
I'll be looking out
man.
for that.
It's gonna be nice. And I don't really have the resource for everybody. I can't
Mhm.
grab everybody, but I got some nice R&B heads in my
Yeah,
in my in my bag. So we're gonna see what's up.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and being a member of our ASCAP family for, was it 13 years now?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
amazing.
Big shout out to you guys. You guys have been amazing. I love how you guys have adapted to the new ways of making money. You tracking down all of these different things that, I've been with you guys so long. I got to see that, and then
Yeah.
when I do have to put in a little, customer service, y'all get right back to me. Like, we're on it.
Yes.
We're going to go get that. And
Yeah.
that's why I love you guys. So I'm not going nowhere.
Oh, well, we're so excited to continue following your journey. And yeah, just know we're always here.
All right. Thank you so much.